All right, so this is the fiddly fig that we're going to be kind of rehabbing today. You can see some of the leaves are a little dried out. We have a little bit of edema in the newer leaves, and for those who don't know, edema just kind of means that the, what's it called?
Cells.
Yeah, the cells have kind of filled up with water and they've burst, and it's really not a terrible thing. It goes away if you take care of the plant, so I'm not too worried about that. So what we're going to be doing first is just checking on the roots. The roots are healthy. If you can see, there's not any black roots, or the soil is a little soggy at the bottom, but the roots themselves don't look soggy. There's no weird smells that would indicate root rot. So when you check roots, you really just want to look for the good either pink or white roots that you would see. So now we're just going to be washing the leaves a little bit. Some of them have a little bit of damage, which we'll end up removing, but for the most part, the leaves are healthy. They just need cleaned up a bit.
This one actually looks like it might be starting to grow. You can see there is a little green.
Yeah, a little green there.
So we might leave that one, and just with these smaller branches, I think I'd like to cut that one down to this bigger leaf to kind of help it stimulate it to grow. And possibly the same thing for this one, because a nice thing about the fiddly fig is typically when you cut back between the leaf nodes but still in the green area, it usually will stimulate the plant to create more branches. And so if I cut here, I'll probably get one, if not two, or sometimes even three more branches, and that'll help it look a little more tree-like. So this is the branch that I want to cut off, because like I mentioned previously, this tip, it's all dried out, and when something like that happens, you have to typically cut it back a little bit, otherwise it just kind of stays that way. If it's a healthy branch, it's not a big deal. This is kind of puny, and if it's just a puny branch that's not going to grow anymore, it ultimately ends up taking away from the rest of the plant, because this is energy and nutrients that could better be spent growing somewhere here. Yeah, see, it's all, obviously it's wet, but it's all dried out here. It's brown. It's not growing anymore.
Yeah.
And if something is growing, it'll have a green tip. Like we saw one up here that was growing, and that means it's going to have new fresh growth. And let's see, this one.
So that's what a healthy growth point will look like.
And then, actually, these branches might be a little bit healthier than I first expected, because that one has a growing tip on it, and so did this one as well. I think still yet I am going to cut these back a little bit, because it will encourage new growth. And these are new, which means the plant is growing, but it has edema, which is not the worst thing, but I think these could ultimately be a lot healthier.
If you want to, if you get a growth point, if you cut under the node, you could propagate these in some water or something and then start a little plant.
Yeah, I intend to do that as well, just because I don't like to waste plants.
Yeah.
Because a lot of plants will propagate really easily, and that's something that people don't think about. You know, they'll cut the vines of their pothos or their string of hearts or their string of pearls, and then they'll just throw it away, and it's like, no, you could have 10 other plants from that.
Exactly.
But so, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut, and I believe I'm going to cut right here because you want to cut in between the leaf nodes, but before it gets to the like darker colored wood. So like, and you can actually pretty easily see the difference. So here's the new growth, the green growth, and here's the old woody growth. It's brown, it's a lot darker. So I will be cutting about right here, and I think that'll get us good growth.
Yeah, there we go.
And of course, I cleaned my shears before I did that. It's kind of a cardinal rule that you should.
Yeah. That's one of the rules I'm really bad at.
Me too. And then let's try and find it here. And actually, the new growth goes back down further here. But I don't think I want to cut this leaf off because it's pretty big. So it'll give good nutrients. So I think I'm just going to go about right here.
This is Danny. That is Mason. You guys are now famous.
Heck yeah.
With my grandma and my mom.
Let's see. I might cut this one off too. Doesn't really have anything going on. I'm just gonna do it.
Do it.
And the nice thing about getting a cheap plant like this is if you completely mess it up and kill it, you only paid, $15. Whereas if I were to take, the one I paid full price for and did this and over pruned and ended up ruining it, or not ruining it, but just setting it back in its growth, I'd probably feel a little bit worse.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what the plant looks like after we've cleaned it and pruned it and we've checked on the roots. We don't see any signs of pest or anything like that. So overall, I think it went really well. And so yeah, I had a good time doing this with my new Planty friend. And so I want to thank her for allowing me to use her plant for this video. And I'll see you guys next time.